everyone, and welcome to today's General Hospital recap. If you're watching for the first time today, I'm Carly's mom, and I am filling in with her while she's on vacation. Hi Carly, I hope you're having a great time. Please remember to subscribe so you don't miss any of the excitement in Port Charles, because today was such an exciting show. So we have to start with Jason and Sam are at the Metro Court. They're celebrating the night before their wedding, and Sam says it's good luck to spend the night together, even though Molly told her that it would be bad luck. Great way to go, Molly. Let's start them off with something negative. But Molly is watching Danny for them so they can have the time together. So they were gonna watch a movie, something not that had anything to do with kids stuff, and Sam says she was really hungry. Her and the baby are really hungry. Oh look, I have another friend here. I keep finding new stuffed animals, so I'm going to add them to their line here, and then maybe somebody real will come and visit while I'm filming. So Jason says that he doesn't really like the room service menu. That's why he didn't order from it when he was staying there when Carly was comping him, because it seems they put, let me see, fig jam on their burger. So he says he's going to take care of it, and he goes out in the hallway and he comes back in and he tells Sam it's going to be a surprise. So when the food arrives, she's smelling what's in the bag, and she says, I know it's Noodle Buddha. And he's like, how do you know what it is? You didn't even open it. And she goes, I am pregnant and I'm a detective. So there you go. Women can tell what something is. Their sense of smell gets very, very strong when they're pregnant. And of course, Sam's the best detective there is. So now they're going to eat. But first they talk about their 5th anniversary, because it seems that they're getting married close to what would be their 5th anniversary. And what is the gift for 5th anniversary? Sam looks it up and it's wood. So romantic Jason hands her chopsticks. He really is romantic. And the phone, oh let's see, then they eat. The phone rings, and it seems Franco left a message that he wants to talk to Jason, something about Elizabeth, and Jason ignores the message. At Carly's house, Nell is looking for a book for Avery, and she overhears Carly on the phone, and it seems that Carly's planning the wedding and just wants to keep it low-key. Nell thinks she's overhearing something scandalous, but it's not. And then Bobby comes in and she apologizes. She was having trouble with her phone and she's there to babysit, and she doesn't know that Nell is watching Avery. So Carly asks Nell's permission, since Bobby's family, and Nell says yes, she can tell Bobby that she's Jocelyn's kidney donor, and Bobby's so excited that she's meeting her. And she, thanks Nell for being there for Jocelyn. And then when Nell goes upstairs, Carly explains that she was thinking of hiring her as a full-time nanny, and unfortunately, Nell got let go from her teacher's aide job, and she doesn't have a job, so she was going to hire her because she's so good with Avery. And Bobby says she wants to watch Avery, and Carly says it's a thankless job. Really, Carly? A thankless job watching a child grow? It's not a thankless job. It's an amazing job. And Bobby says that she's not feeling obligated to do it, but she missed out on raising Carly, and she wants to show Carly how much she loves her, and that she wants to watch Avery out of love, not out of obligation. So then she accepts. Let's see, when Nell comes downstairs, I think Nell thinks she's going to get the nanny job, and Carly tells her that Bobby's going to watch Avery, and she does seem a bit disappointed. I'm kind of on the fence with now. I like her a lot, but there's just something about her that I think she's hiding, so we just have to wait and see for that one. And then Sonny comes home, and Carly tells him that Bobby will be watching Avery, and he's really glad. Sonny's all about family. So, which, before he got home, he was at the Floating Rib. At first, he's talking with one of his henchmen, associates, whatever you want to call them. I think his name is Oz. And he's talking about the surveillance they have on Julian, and that he wants Julian shut down. And then you see Michael and Sabrina come into the Floating Rib. They have Teddy in the stroller. They talk about Teddy's teething, and it's hard for him to sleep, but the noise and in the stroller, it helps him to sleep. So they go over to Sonny, and they're going to, I think they're going to have dinner there. And then Joe is at the bar, and he looks over at Sabrina, and Sabrina does not look happy to see him at all. So then he says hi to Michael, and Sonny's kind of looking at him. This is the first time Sonny's meeting Joe. And he heard that he was there, and you could tell he's not comfortable with him. And Joe says to Sonny, "Oh, you're the one that brought Carlos back to the States so he could be killed. Oh, that's a great way to start when you meet someone." But Sonny said no, he didn't bring him back to die. He wanted him to pay for his crimes. And you know what? It's true. Because Sonny could have killed him and he didn't. And then Joe says that he did deserve to pay for his crimes. And he apologizes for all the pain that Carlos caused Sonny's family. So then Joe tells Sabrina he wants to spend time with Teddy. Sabrina says, "Sure, just give a call. We'll set it up." Joe's surprised. He's like, "Oh, I thought this would be a lot harder." And he wants to finish the conversation he was having with her the other day. And Sabrina just says the past will stay in the past. Joe wants Sabrina to admit that she's committed to Michael. Sabrina doesn't owe Joe any explanations. She really doesn't. And then Sabrina, so while Sabrina's talking with Joe, Sonny and Michael are talking, and Michael admits that he's jealous of Joe, and Sonny goes, "No, you're not jealous of Joe, you're jealous of Carlos because Sabrina cheated on you with him, and Teddy's a reminder of that, and that Michael needs to get rid of his resentment so he can move on, because if he wants to be with Sabrina, he needs to not be resentful of the past." And then Sonny goes up to Joe. Now I love the way Sonny talks, advises, threatens people. Really, really great. He talks to Joe. He reminds him that Carlos caused a lot of trouble with his family, and that Joe is a different kind of trouble, and he should not make the same mistakes that Carlos makes. That's so great. And then Sabrina tells Michael that there's nothing between her and Joe. He admits to her that seeing Joe brings back all his feelings about Carlos. Sabrina tells him that she loves him, and she always loved him even when she was with Carlos. So we'll see where this goes. So at the hospital, Dr. Finn is talking to Hayden, and he's not happy that she wants to leave, and he tells her she's going to be a fugitive if she leaves. And then a nurse comes into the locker room, and Dr. Finn asks for an update. Hayden had walked away, and then she walked back, and she's like, "I know what you're doing, and I'm not going to be a sitting duck here waiting for the next shoe to drop." And Dr. Finn's like, "What are you with mixing your metaphors?" So Hayden tells him she's going to New York because her mom's in New York, and her mom has a lot of lawyers, and obviously in Hayden's spot right now, she needs a lot of lawyers. And then they go to Perks to have a going away drink, and they toast to running away from her problems. Dr. Finn is asking, "Where are you going?" Well, she already told him that she's going to New York, but now she's saying to him, "Well, I can't tell you because that would be aiding and abetting." And he goes, "Well, it's okay because I'm a doctor." And she's like, well, but that's with infectious disease. This is criminal. And he's like, well, isn't crime a disease? He's so funny. I love Dr. Finn. So then he talks to her about doctor-patient confidentiality. And you know what? Dr. Monroe should really hear this little speech, because it would go a long way with him, because he doesn't seem to care about doctor-patient confidentiality. So then Hayden quotes Yoda, and Dr. Finn calls her on it, and she says, a wise man once says, do, there is no trying. And she wants him to promise to spend time with Tracy. He doesn't want her to leave. And then he kisses her. I did not see that happening. In the hospital, Franco's in with Elizabeth, and they're talking about Elizabeth getting pushed down the stairs, and Jordan overhears them talking, and she wants to know exactly what happened. And Elizabeth's trying to explain. Franco's interrupting. Jordan is telling him not to, because she wants Elizabeth to be able to say it in her own words. And then, so he finally stays quiet for a few minutes. And then Elizabeth tells Jordan that Hayden pushed her. Well, she did not see Hayden push her. She felt 2 hands on her back, and she fell. And now she knows it's Hayden. So Jordan asks if she saw Hayden, and she says she didn't. And then Jordan says, well, this doesn't make sense, because if she pushed you, she wouldn't have followed you down the stairs. And then Franco says, well, as a former career criminal, there are many reasons she would have done that. And he goes, to get the job done right. And then he starts to explain in graphic detail what that would have entailed. And Elizabeth is uncomfortable with that. And then he says it's to send a message that she can hurt Elizabeth at any time, and that Elizabeth's at her mercy. And Franco describes Hayden as being expressionless as she stood over Elizabeth, and said that it was creepy. Well, if Franco says something's creepy, it really must have been very creepy, because he's about as creepy as you can get. So Jordan says, well, no one witnessed it, so she'll have to look into it. And then Elizabeth tells her about Hayden slapping her, and she says, well, did anyone witness it? And then the nurse walks in and says, well, I witnessed it. And she said she saw Hayden slap Elizabeth, and that she was going to shut her up. So now Jordan has something to go on, so she says she's going to bring Hayden in. And Franco, he has to get in the last word. He says, thank you, local law enforcement, for looking at someone other than me. Franco just let her walk out and do her job. So Elizabeth is surprised that Hayden tried to kill her. She's like, I know Hayden hates me, but I didn't think she would try to kill me. So then Dr. Monroe walks in and says, I have your test results. Well, Franco's standing there. He doesn't ask him to leave, of course. Dr. Monroe shares Elizabeth's test results with everyone. And then as he's explaining, first they freak out because Dr. Monroe's a neurosurgeon. So Franco's like, well, is there something wrong with her brain? And Dr. Monroe says, no, her doctor has an emergency, so I'm filling in because I am familiar with her case. And he says that she has a mild concussion and that it could have been worse. And Franco says, I don't know, you're saying that like it's a good thing. I think we should get a new doctor. Franco, you're not connected to Elizabeth. It's not we. And Dr. Monroe is not her doctor. He's just giving the results. So Franco is so overbearing. He won't let Elizabeth speak for herself. She's trying to explain to Dr. Monroe that she's having pain, and he does tell her that you have a splenic contusion, but it's not a rupture. Franco mumbles something about a spleen. And when Dr. Monroe says they want to keep her overnight, to keep an eye on her, Franco's like, in this death trap? And then he's trying to make light of her situation. You can see Elizabeth's in a lot of pain. And he says, well, the bright side of this will be Hayden will be arrested, and that's the cherry on the disaster cake. I mean, he just can't leave well enough alone. So he walks out because Elizabeth wants to make a phone call. She wants to call her grandmother, and she wants to do it in private. So then he tracks down Dr. Monroe. He calls him Dr. Handsome, Man of God. So for someone who wants to be taken seriously, Franco, you really need to stop being disrespectful. And then he asked Dr. Monroe if that was really the truth about Elizabeth's condition. Well, of course it's really the truth. Why would a doctor lie to tell someone about their condition? And that Dr. Monroe says, well, with these type of injuries, you have to wait and see. And Franco is not, he just can't follow anything. My phone's being weird. I'm back. So then Franco's making a phone call. So now we have the end scene. So Jason and Sam are in bed, and they're celebrating the night before their wedding, and now they're opening their fortune cookies, and Jason doesn't like his because it says with hard work comes great success. So he opens up another one, and that one says you will live happily ever after. So he likes that one a lot better. And they do deserve to live happily ever after because they're a great couple. And then Carly and Sonny are talking about Nell. And she feels bad because Nell's returning home with no job. And Sonny tells her, you're not responsible for Nell's life. So, and Carly agrees with him. Nell goes upstairs. I'm sorry. Nell's already left the building. She agrees with him. Sonny goes upstairs. And then Carly promptly goes to the phone, calls Nell, and says to her, I have a few ideas about your job hunt. And that's Carly for you. She says one thing, does another. And Michael and Sabrina are talking about a future together. He doesn't want to talk about fault. He just wants to rebuild trust, and they kiss. And that's another couple that I would like to see move forward and just be happy together. So Elizabeth's still on the phone with her grandmother when Franco returns to her room. He thinks that the boys should know what happened to her. Elizabeth doesn't want to worry them. And then he sits on a chair, reclining chair, next to her bed, and he's going to stare at her while she goes to sleep. He is really, really freaky. And then Hayden gets arrested. Jordan and a police officer walk up to Hayden and Dr. Finn while they're kissing, tells Hayden she's under arrest, and while she's being cuffed, Hayden asks why the PCPD is arresting her and not the feds. And Jordan says it's not their jurisdiction, and Hayden's really confused because she doesn't know why she's being arrested. She thinks it's because of the diamonds. So Dr. Finn actually asks why she's being arrested, and Jordan explains that it's for the attempted murder of Elizabeth Weber. Da-da-da! So this is really exciting. Can't wait for tomorrow's show. So now for the trivia question. For everyone that responded, thank you. And yes, it's Halloween. Maxie was born on Halloween. So for everyone who answered Halloween, you got it right. Congratulations. And now for today's trivia question. It's another birthday question. So here it's actually twofold. What month was Carly born in, and who does she share a birth date with? Not the year, but what other character on the show does she share a birth date with? So let's see the answers to that one in the comments, and please let me know how you liked today's video. I had a great time. Thank you for joining me. Carly, enjoy your vacation. I hope everything's going good on the train. I know you're having a great time, and I will see everyone tomorrow. Have a great night.